Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Tuesday, the 7th of February. Well, let's get straight into it. So we've still got one runner that could make a place double if it comes in at Wolverhampton. The second selection was a bit well, I say not unlucky. I thought we was unlucky not to get a place, but there's always the risk that it could come third when there's only 6 or 7 runners. So let's get into Tuesday's selection. So horse racing tips for Tuesday, the 7th of February are as follows. Well, the bet is a 20 pence each way Yankee and a 30 pence each way accumulated. Comes to a fiver in total. So, the first selection is School for Scandal in the 4 o'clock at Taunton, paying 4 places instead of 3. I am not taking any of the prices because I think currently they are all too skinny. And realistically, I do think that they will all drift, but we'll see. The second selection is Prince Nino in the 4:30 at Taunton, paying 4 places instead of 3. The third selection is Revolutionise in the 7 o'clock at Wolverhampton, paying 4 places instead of 3. And the final selection is Silver Nightfall in the 8 o'clock at Wolverhampton, paying 3 places instead of 2. Right, if I had to pick the most fancied is the School for Scandal. I think it will prefer the quicker ground. Don't get me wrong, it's a shocking race, but I do think it will be much more beneficial to this horse will be in slightly quicker ground. Prince Nino is a bit of a dark horse. It's done nothing. It's not basically it's done nothing. Now it's had, I think it's 3 runs for Harry Durham now. New trainer, he'll be wanting to prove his worth. And also, there's another horse that he's got that comes from Port Nichols. So it's interesting that he's now training this horse too. Revolutionised, I think it's on form. It was rated much higher during last winter. It's got Joanna Mason on board. I don't know how often Joanna Mason actually rides for Stuart Williams, or SC Williams as you may see him in the paper. I don't think it's that often, if I'm being honest. It's not obviously it's normally the Easter bids when you see Joanna Mason, so it's definitely worth an interest. Anyway, I do fancy it on form, not just the jockey booking. And finally, Silver Nightfall. Already, it's ran 2 races above its handicap mark. Last time when it won, and also on its debut. That is, I've been using that system for quite a while now, and it generally works fairly well to tell you that a horse that is well handicapped. Well, granted improvement, I do think it's got every chance. I think it's only rated 70, and that rating by the Racing Post was 73. So anywhere between 75 and 80 should mean it gets into a place. If it runs below its last run last time, well then it will be on place. But I do think it's interesting the fact that Luke Morris still rides this horse as well. So yeah, so those are the bets for Tuesday. The very best of luck. I'll keep my eye out on a few selections for the rest of the week, but I think it's quite interesting now with decent weather knocking around. I know it's still getting cold at night, but it does seem like it's quite drying ground now. So we could get a turnaround in results. There could be the odd bigger a horse that's been running shocking over the winter on heavy ground that is now that actually prefers quicker ground. And I think School of Scandal is one of those, but there will be plenty more in the coming days and weeks. So those are the horse racing selections for Tuesday, the 7th of February. The very best of luck. If you can give me a like or subscribe or a comment, that's absolutely fine. I appreciate it. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.